Brigitte, my bass player in the Magic Poker Band, is videotaping some events. We're putting a little promotional writer's voice thing together. She knows that I'm a benevolent dictator. And as your benevolent dictator this evening, isn't that right, Brigitte?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's on record. I'm declaring everybody a Writer's Voice member. So if you want to get 2 of Wanda's books for $25, do it. And the reason why is I don't want you to go home without getting a copy of some of her work tonight. To read and get to know this wonderful writer by, we had, anyway, they may be going, but we had 5 different titles available. She is both a short story writer, a novelist, fiction writer, and a poet, and an essayist. So she's a number of, wears a number of different writing hats. But this new book of hers is, also we're giving a copy of the Los Angeles Rattle magazine journal to anyone who buys anything. So if you buy a cigarette off Mike, he'll give you a book of matches. You know. So at any rate, but this book here, Mercurochrome, New Poems, is a 2001 offering by Wanda Coleman, and this book was one of the finalists for the National Book Award. So we have a few copies. Well, how many copies are there left? 7 copies of it left. And she came close by being nominated. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of the Academy Awards, and she was one of the nominees. It's a great achievement. So she's going to do a little of this and a little of that. We were talking about it on the way in. She's a Los Angeles native. She born and raised, still lives in the Los Angeles area. She's been on the writing scene for a while. She's an established writer. I've long been a fan of her work and got to know her through email not too long ago, but to meet her in person, and it's a pleasure, and you're going to see some really, really good stuff in about 2 seconds. Please welcome Wanda Coleman to the show.
An excerpt from a poem that's also an essay. To love LA is to love more than a city. It's to love a language, to do lunch or done deals or do the do. Before I go on and continue, I want to thank Vievee and Matthew for opening for me, by the way. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Sometimes in my excitement and my nerves, I forget to say thank you. I wanted to do that. Well, in LA, there ain't much in the way of doing day. To love LA is to love access to change as swiftly as street lights in this third world gangbang. One must understand that one speaks in minutes. Freeway exits, cross streets, landmarks, availability of parking, and the desirability of zip codes and prefixes, and affectations punctuated by fake laughter. Over 80 tongues are spoken. But the only language everyone understands is that sign language known as crossing the palms. LA. Loving you is to love a special brand of madness, as sweet, as spicy, as dangerous as clove, is to embrace the irrational and the disarranged, is to welcome halfway house refugees and hospice hangers-on, is to spread joy among the homeless lining corporate buildings with their possessions of cast-offs, soaking up the remaining sun captured in the martyr. Loving you is to love fast food, to eat with one hand while maneuvering the steering wheel with the other. Work in that armrest from pizza to tacos to cheeseburgers to french fries to chicken chips, garbage burritos, licking fingers at the light, holding a double thick, rich malted or something heavier between tight thighs without hitting the accelerator. Hating your restaurants where they serve the high-priced spoilage, seat you atop the kitchen after a 50-minute wait, throw you out if you get too loud, running after you to get your license plate number after you stomped out, refusing to pay the bill. Loving your outsiders, LA. Hating your racism, deeply rooted in Southern prejudice against me, my people culture, my blackness, your outsiders, LA, your street racers, dragsters, lowriders, cruiser bruisers, cowboys, and crip dogs. The lonely who find solace traversing freeway interchanges. The lonely who drive slowly seeking the answer in shadowy doorways, off alleys, on gas station service lots after closing. The lonely who get off on eyes found only in the dark corners of certain clubs. Loving your money potential. Loving your fame potential. Hating the way you make a sucker pay and pay for a slice of the dream that is never delivered. Hey, where you steady pump over the action. At some point, the wealthy and the lucky stop getting got and get given. Oh, but you bleed us poor motherfuckers to death. LA, you hot, but you too damn cold to love. You want long, relentless drive nowhere, sometimes in circles, always in heavy traffic. Gridlock is a state of mind. It hurt me when the jazz went down. Black music has always had to go blow to blow to make it. And the transmigration of soul, the sterile beauty of so-called classical, left me longing for loves that have butterfly wings, mood indigos, and the mellow, smoky vibratos of two cool DJs kicking in Saturday night grooves. Loving you means everything. Loving you, I mean a damn thing. Your 9 commandments of love. 1, thou shalt not get old. 2, do unto others before they do unto you. 3, thou shalt not yield right of way. 4, thou shalt honor thy real estate and insurance agents. 5, madness is method, mediocrity is profit. 6, high-profile talks, low-profile walks. 7, the lacking in horsepower shall inherit the dust. 8, what can't be sold is of no value. 9, make-believe is the only reality.
Wow. Neruda. Few quiet hours I spend them
soaking in the tub with my Neruda. In a dream, a bearded Moreno stranger approaches me along a dark street in the plaza. As we pass, he whispers hoarsely, Neruda. On Sunset Boulevard, a beggar accosts me for spare change. I hand him my collected Neruda. While my lover takes siesta, I walk down to the neighborhood bar for a game of pool solo. I order dos besos. I put a quarter in the juke. Notice all selections read Neruda. While standing at the supermarket checkout stand, I read tabloid headlines. One screams, man force feeds wife Neruda. He tells me he is worried. You know, Neruda is coming between us. Note found in Cantonese fortune cookie, Neruda slept here. Sapphire as artist in the world. The work such woman does in the world works on her. Her movements, her perceptions, her loves, life is intolerable in a society that does not value on her gift. This is after William H. Gass, if you're wondering about the convolutions. Especially when it does not want the vision she must espouse in the act of putting herself in the world through art. What does Sapphire envision? Her innate loveliness, of which she may be defensive or insecure. But if she seeds her self-doubt in a nurturing self-love, she may harvest the rapture of creation. Otherwise, she may fill herself with hate. Or will her skin contain it? Hate blurs. Certainly she cannot create when her vision is blurred, out of sync, a rhythmic. Rhythm is a state of concentration so complete it leaves her defenseless, opens to all in tune with it. Intonation is her other meaning into sensation by which her faculties embrace, subvert. To achieve satiation upon embracing, she must see the world she enlarges with her art clearly, if not without fear. She is its lover, and she must excite it until its richness rises in response to her Afrocentric beauty perceived at last. To openly hate and fear her lover is to invite rape. She must see the hardness in the blood, yet recognize the hardness as required for effective penetration dialogue. Therefore, she is the natural enemy of social oppression, impotence. She resists the aesthetic softness of a society that would sublimate, smother her spirit. In this context, her subversion is Catholic, but given sufficient direction, education, her willfulness undermines everything false with exacting precision. In the end, her society will reject or even destroy her. History is clear on this point. To ensure her place in the world, Sapphire must make her art her revolution. And in so making, she must remain undaunted, without compromise. She must be aware of the power which extends through her bones, the profound, stubborn belief in the absolute importance of her vision. Confessions noir. I am afraid of telephones. One of my greatest highs is city driving before sunrise, after rain, listening. Frequently, the likeness of my first husband masks the faces of our children, calling to mind an inscription I made on a photo, some hawk shit about us being my first first, my last. I hate dresses. I have no fear of needles, only users of needles. Only thing I'm hooked on these days is money. Withdrawal pangs are constant. I am not the type, he said. All women are the type. And if you're not, it's going to be quite a pleasure finding out what type you are. My worst nightmares are about telephones. I mean, no job. I had to have my room changed because I couldn't use the telephone last night.
Oh, really?
I mean, the telephones must be following me. Once I pulled off a robbery, got away with the goods, then, like a fool, gave them to my lover of the moment to impress him. And Petrie wrote my life story, published the year I was born, 1946. I prefer commercials over programming, black and white over color, informed silence over ignorant applause. I pray only on airplanes. Occasionally, one of my dreams comes true. Once in a while, I pass myself going in the other direction. I'm afraid of the light at the end of the tunnel. Mr. Miles. Well, Kikase, this refined lady of color, was terrified of vermin. Now, Wanda took up residence in the room she rented. The landlord went and got some green goop for his squinky little ass. So I put the green goop out to bait him. Sure enough, Mr. Mouse showed up sniffing. He went over to the green goop, took a bite, and chewed it up. And she just a watching, damn near about to faint. Little Mr. Mouse, he started to scamper away, when all of a sudden he got to the middle of the room and he stopped. And she's still watching to see what he gonna do. But he just stand there mid-room looking. So she and Mr. Mouse were both standing there for 15 minutes and she don't move and he don't move. So she say, don't you know you're supposed to be dead, sucker? So finally she go over to him and poke him. He keeled over and stay dead, she said. Welfare queen for Allen Ginsberg. Red-faced, you follow the loony white line to the blue door, where the 7 a.m. wait runs 50 deep. You, in your unwashed crown, your snaggled teeth, your aircraft carrier hips, you're snotting all over America, this bad gin morning fizzle. You've just run out of tissues, so you use the flap of your grimy moo-moo worn fax paper thin. The truth you've tried to peddle did not feed or free you, but has trapped you in the dungeon of working ass poor doings. You fill out white forms in blue ink, twixt curses and prayers, check the red boxes. The helpers you consult are underpaid automatons who smell a bureaucratic bug kill, yet sniff down their noses at you, marauder, your larcenous fingers filching their taxes. You, tinsel thuckster, robbing them of phone time with sweethearts. You, pernicious, promiscuous, sloven, spreading VD, AIDS, and black males. Of course you're allergic to work watch the soaps, the blab fest, the shitcoms, low self-esteem. Stand on street corners swinging grape or sipping moonshine, loud talking, gambling, prostituting, blue-brained under the white sheets, gasping to the throb, warning code red, a cliche with a skin condition, as seen by those spaced-out heads, those probing amber eyes, narrow to amused slits, denying your claim on the dream, oh purple mountains of prose, charting your failures as you nut up under the thunder of blows, your majesty that keep not on your psyche of course you're guilty of breaking illusion and taking up too much sun. Of course you're guilty of looting the nation's coffers. Of course you're lucky to have survived past 35, you bloodwort on the schnoz of Christ. Raymond and romance. The bed of prize is neatly made. Sun-drenched sheets taut against the firm box mattress. It holds our bones, gives just enough to evoke. We turn over and over in it, grinding against the flesh that keeps us two. His eyes, right their way into my skin. His dreams take root in my mouth. I am pregnant with his suspicions. Our ugly offspring shred our eardrums, but I am the only one who goes without sleep. When I turn the dial, he goes from funk croon to Latin burn, transcendental fusion, a smidgen of bossa nova, a dash of kalimba. Our minutes together are fat Tuesdays. All the rest of my time passes like Lent. My love, he says, is a sad desert waterhole. One road into town, no road out. The mayor's declared martial law. The saloons are all dry. All the candy stores are looted, and all the banks have been robbed. Just as sure as I lived, the sweet Eisenhower simmer was toughest. Harsh blurrings of vicious and unforgiving nature descending on the city in a rain of heat, roasting resolve alive. Be out of heaven by sundown, nigga! I remember the childhood allure of chiffon flowing from broad bronze shoulders, pastel pillbox hats with peekaboo veils perched on crowns, slick pressed to Sunday, sugar ray by night, toot sweet by day. Summer came draped in Hawaiian cotton print, muumuus and Italian heeled slip-ons, rattling puka shell bracelets, lobes armed with sterling silver hoops. Hey, Fandango! A curious shaking under the palms, fine frames hugged in playtex and leopard skin, gaunt-eyed men with big brown bones biting the lips off unlit stogies in brown suits behind the wheels of tore-down coupes, whistling the promise off billboards as they swooped star-lined boulevards. You know, I recall all of that. All of that. Smothered in an untested belief in all things possible, as hard, as fresh, as raspberry root. I knew a soft boy once. I knew a soft boy. He lived across our street. In time, I did not like him because he was soft in all the wrong places. He was blacker than me. chocolate, but didn't seem to know the hurtful names people called me. If I complained, sticks and stones, he'd say. But I argued, words have as much power to kill and maim as stone. Shades of gray. He grinned as I laid paint out in black and white. Each to his. He yawned when I described a world of abuse. I wanted empathy and tea leaves, answers and directions toward a healing path. He rolled his eyes and waxed the grapes up. I wanted to incite in him fire, indignation, the desire to protect. But he just looked at me, clucked his tongue, and scratched his neck. After Sun Ra, my bleak visitation, in the early days of my earthly visitation, black hands slapped and spanked me. Black minds, hearts, and souls rebuffed me. Yet, I love them hungrily, in spite of that. In the early days of my visitation, black lips called me names, as did white lips, but somehow those names on those black lips impaled me like spears on which I forever ride. The hearts, minds, souls of my kin were denied me. Even today, the overtones from the fire of that lovelessness still burn in my brain. I am twisted and hurt and death damaged. Yeah. In those early days of my visitation, white rules and laws segregated me also, but black fear, ignorance, and self-loathing separated my soundness from my spirit fist. And so, the strength I prayed for and the freedom I seek bear convolutions heretofore unaddressed. Make me the radical, inspire a sacrifice so deep it rattles the old bones and the old stones. I'm a name caller. I'm a name caller. I am the reaper's scythe, unforgiving in my sweep. I am, because of that, not so long ago, twisted, hurt, damaged. For Leroy can Tough luck is being born in post-war Los Angeles, turning 13 in the middle of the civil rights movement.
life complicated by the hazards of kinky hair, hardship of big bones, fat genes, and insatiable lust for the boy's tough love. Oh, woman, you smell like fried hair pomade, calamine lotion, and Vicks Vapor Rub. No one's willing to touch you except mom and dad. Tough love. No one comes here promptly at 7 a.m. to save you from indoctrination on Sunday mornings. Tough love. No one tells you it's too cool to love books, to love poetry, to love yourself. A tough love. No one tells you you have a hellish beauty, uniquely, darkly. There's no one at all to teach you how to make money. Tough luck. You are left alone to unscramble all eggs for yourself. There is no one to save you from the conga rhythms inside your head. Everything about you seems an anathema, and those hands, people tell you they look like they belong on a monkey. Remember the time at the funeral you touched great-grand Aunt Aura's hand? She snatched hers away, just like that.